Hey, recording this video after close of trade Wednesday, 28th September 2011. Hope you've had a good couple of days trading. Interesting couple of days. We kind of ended with sell-offs in both days on Tuesday and Wednesday. About 2.3 million contracts traded. We closed down 11.49 and a quarter, and we're stuck in this channel, and we're coming back down towards cyclical support here. We had the sell-off Wednesday, Thursday last week. Ended up being kind of exhaustion selling volume, then coming into an extremely high volume, high churn bar here that kind of held us at this 11.20 level, and we've bounced from there. So cyclical support came in on better sine wave, and we've kind of moved up, but kind of ran out of steam after the last couple of days, sold off a little bit yesterday, and then had a complex correction on the way back up overnight and this morning, and then sold off this afternoon. And so we're stuck in this channel, and the risk is that we break cyclical support here at 11.20, and we're into a down leg and another kind of trend move on the way down with a target, if this is kind of a bear flag, target of 1,000. In terms of patterns, interesting the last couple of days. So we held with a high volume churn bar Thursday of last week, and it ended up being a stopping volume starred pattern, which is quite a strong sign of support. And then with yesterday's activity, we got the absolute reverse, which was a stopping volume starred pattern on the other side. If you own better Pro-Am, you'll know what I'm talking about there with these star patterns. So strong signs of support, and then resistance kind of came in. So we're really fighting between these two levels. Comes down to the trend line chart. We're in congestion. Again, rising trend line, falling trend line. And a bear flag type thing that could easily break on the downside. And if we look at better X trend on a daily chart, just the at ES has been kind of the most useful lately. This has just been signaling the highs here. We've not been able to break through. So if you look at all the red up bars, the sequences in red up bars that have held initially after we had the sell-off, we kind of rallied back in under cover, tried again, rallied back in undercover, rallied back in undercover, and then the last one rallied back in, didn't make it undercover, and we're kind of back down. I mean, I just wonder how many of these rallies on the way up that didn't get us through the 1200 level can we take before they basically give up, and we fall through the floor at 1100. 40,500 tip bar chart has been pretty useful yet again. So the top of the last rally, we had pullback to end of trend sequence. Bottom of the last move into the Wednesday, Thursday, pullback to end of trend. This was on the Friday. After we'd had exhaustion selling here, bullish divergence patterns kind of came in, blue professional bars at the bottom, we rallied. And so last into Tuesday, we had end of trend sequence. We just poked on through, but Tuesday's activity, all of this activity was just inching higher and higher and higher until we eventually broke down. And if you looked at the average trade size around here, it was extremely high yesterday, unusually high, and that was profit taking for me. We'd seen it kind of previously at tops. We saw it again on this one here. Today's rally kind of early in the morning, and then kind of gave way to today's kind of sell-off. We're below cyclical support near it now on the 40,500 tip bar chart. We have to go see a similar kind of sell-off exhaustion selling pattern on the bottom end of this in order to start seeing exhaustion selling and an end in sight to this down move. So tomorrow is going to be a really interesting day. 4,500 tip bar chart. What I found great about yesterday's trade. Yesterday for me, I picked up 3.5 points. I stopped trading pretty early on just because this was going nowhere. With Tuesday's activity, it was really kind of slow going, and I was in danger of getting myself chopped up. So I quit after 3.5 points and just let it be. But it was interesting at the end of the day. We'd had our end of trend, had our exhaustion buying. We were kind of coming back in each time we came in, just creeping up a little bit, a couple of points, but then this little breakaway where we tried to get up to 1190, being led all the way amateur up bars into finally a Rambo pattern at the end of the day, and that was the final signal. You had a Rambo pattern, and then look at that professional bar right at the high, cyclical turn, bearish divergence come in all the way, and then that led to yesterday's sell-off. And then overnight we had this kind of complex correction on the way back, batting backwards and forwards between these cyclical levels, and then this sequence here, professionals actually getting short, and then when we came back into test where they started to sell down, we had professional activity getting short again, another Rambo pattern. It was exhaustion buying at that point, cyclical resistance, and then we just gave way. I actually had a great little trade, I'll tag it on, for 6.5 points, where I was just getting short. It was actually after an end of trend sequence on the 500 tip bar chart, but I know it was a little bit early, but it was actually during this rally by amateur bars. So amateur up bars, once the move has started on the way down, amateur up bars likely to be weak, suspect as soon as the lows get broken. We tested back a little bit here. I took a little bit of heat on the trade, point or two, but that wasn't too much of a worry, and then it kind of gave way. My problem was I got out way too early. I took profits at 62 and a quarter for 6.5 points, which is certainly a bigger trade than I normally take, but of course the thing was good for a lot more. We had exhaustion selling, bullish divergence. We kind of caught it, came back into a pullback and downtrend. The blue professional bars come back in again, bang, the same level that they were kind of selling short this move here, bang, and we kind of end the day kind of down here. So I mean, we've had come into a end of trend on the 4500 tip bar chart down here, but I just wonder if we've done too much damage on the downside. All of a sudden kind of confidence has gone, where we've been trying to rally back up into this kind of congestion zone here, and everybody's going to say, well, too much risk now at this point to be trying to catch or to propel the market up. I mean, 1200, we've got lines in the sand here, 1200 and 1100, and yep, if they can manage to push it up through 1200, good chance that this will get going. But I just think with the last couple of days activity just totally ran out of steam, and therefore we're going to be testing down to 1100, and the possibility is that we're going to break that. As soon as that breaks, that's an incredibly important level down here. Then it's fireworks on the way down. So each of these pushes back up, these kind of red sequences of exhaustion buying or kind of climactic buying have got us nowhere. They've just not got us through this 1200 level. This cover has kind of come in. So just watch out for tomorrow. If we manage to break the highs of Tuesday, tomorrow, if they manage to hold it and push it back up through there, well, good on them, and then we'll have a chance at a rally. But I just think the last 2 afternoons have been so weak, and it's the professionals that control the end of the day. The amateurs are all active at the first thing early on in the day. The professionals are taking charge during the afternoon, and I just think they were using that these last couple of days to kind of get short, push it down, and I think we're at real risk of falling through 1100, and when and if that happens, it's going to be a big day. Anyway, so there's just some thoughts from me at the end of the day. Pretty ordinary day yesterday, 3.5 points. Today was a little bit better for me. It was a good last trade at 6.5 points. So I'm kind of happy with that. And probably overtraded a little bit today, but I started off with got caught out on a stop first thing, and I always find that I overtrade in order to try to make that back. So anyway, looking forward to tomorrow's trade. Okay, just gone short 28.75, and big sell-off from the exhaustion buying signal, 4500 tip bar chart, blue professional bar, cyclical turn in here, Rambo patterns on all time frames. It was Rambo going on here. Anyway, we've come into end of trend, exhaustion selling, but the exhaustion selling was on the end of trend, so you'd expect a second cyclical turn at least. And down here we've had a little bit of support come on the 1500 tip bar chart, but no blue professional bars kind of come in. So I think the downtrend is still in place. We've just used this as an opportunity. So after complex correction overnight, open, we had this initial sell-off, test back to where the selling happened with the blue professional bars here, exhaustion buying. So I think we're going to break today's lows, head on down. So just short 68.75, and let's see if that's what happens. Okay, a few minutes later, just taking a little bit of heat on this trade, kind of traded up past the resistance on 500, but amateur up bars on the 4500 tip bar chart, some amateur bars here. Don't think this is like amateur bars kind of going down, isn't really testing it. We need to see exhaustion selling on the downside, so I think we're just, it's 11:30 AM Chicago time, so it's just getting a little bit quiet, but let's see, still think it's going to break the lows. Okay, for a few minutes, markets later, the market's been really slow. I'm just moving my target to 60.75, another 4 points, just because we're breaking through support. 500 tip bar chart, 45 and 15. Not seeing exhaustion selling on the downside. A lot of amateur bars kind of around here lately, but we need to see that was kind of climactic buying, testing up with some Rambo patterns, and now we need to see climactic selling on the downside. So hoping to get into a trend move below 500, support on the 500 tip bar chart here. There's nothing to stop this move on the way down yet with these at these support levels in terms of exhaustion selling. So I think once it starts to drop, it'll drop hard. Anyway, let's see, target 60.75. A few minutes later, and I was thinking about getting out because we were going nowhere at about 66. And then we had a little bit of a rally back up to 70, but still holding short. Had exhaustion buying on the 500 tip bar chart, and then a blue fractional bar kind of comes in. We immediately fall below that, so I actually think we're heading down. Going to break the lows. Just think these are little kind of tests back up, and we need to. This isn't going to be over till we get exhaustion selling. So. Still holding short from my entry point here, taking heat twice on this, but still think this might give it a little bit of energy on the downside now. A few minutes later, this is starting going our way. We've come back down to 65s, which has been support, and this time we've got cyclical resistance, kind of the energy kind of going this way. We're just breaking below support on the 500 tip bar chart, so might get lucky and might get a bit of a trend breakdown, looking for 60.75. Let's see, the original target 64.75, which is just inches away from being hit. Every time I do this, there we go, just been hit. Every time I do this, I feel really stupid, but anyway, trying it again. So here we go, no blue professional bars yet. So let's see, we're still playing off exhaustion, selling, buying signals here to be mirrored on the downside to catch this, so let's keep holding. Okay, a few minutes later, we're just broken down to 63s and broken through support on the 1500 tip bar chart. We had a blue professional bar kind of come in. We've got bullish divergence around here, but no kind of exhaustion selling yet, so still think we're going to continue breaking down. We've had this whole series of bullish and bearish kind of right on the zero line here, so that means we're going to be breaking into a trend at some point. So Rambo pattern at the moment, 12:21 PM in this trade, long time, but I just think it's going to continue on. So looking for 60.75. That's 62.25. Can hold to the target, but that's fine. We had a couple of Rambo patterns, and then blue professional bar on 1500 kind of came in. Minus 7,000 on the better momentum's pretty large reading. Exhaustion selling on 500. Could have probably exited a little bit better, but that's fine. I mean, I've been holding this forever, so glad to be out. 62.25. What is that? 6.5. Not bad. And I'm sure we'll get a pro signal exit, kind of, or we'll hit the original 60.75 target. Looks like it's got a point to go down on the way down, and anyway, not for me. Quite happy with that, so done. And there we go. Pro signal exit's just gone off, and you could be out at 11.60. So there's another 2.25 points in it. Bunch of blue professional bars coming on, and on the 4500 tip bar chart as well. Going to well shot past these resistance levels on the higher time frames. Got a ways to go on the 13,500 to catch it at support. So yeah, this is breaking down. So we're below yesterday's low, or yesterday's close. This looks like just complex correction on the way up. That was the entry up there, and then bang, all the way down.